smoke. I don't care.
Bucka.
Really?
Otherwise, I would totally be.
Alright, no problem.
There you go. Beats by Supremo for all of my people, Negroes and Latinos, and even the gringos.
Awesome.
Ignorance is bliss, though, to a point.
No, it's not, because if we're ignorant, we don't know what's going on.
For those of you who don't know, Christina, let them know about what you were just talking about.
Okay, the headline of the Salon article from Thursday, January 5th, 7:30 a.m. At least 50 Donald Trump electors were illegally seated as electoral college members from a report. So that means that they didn't live in the district they voted in. They cast ballots legally. So I'm like, okay, so does that mean he's not fucking president?
Well, his presidency...
And they should be fired.
Right. They can't you can't do that and not live in the same thing. It means it has to be syndicated.
Yeah.
I mean, how could they do that? How can they vote?
I don't know. That's what I want to fucking know.
How do you feel about Donald Trump becoming the president?
Every fiber of my being is...
I know you are like a huge
Hillary
Hillary
my
fan.
God.
And I wanted Hillary to win too. I mean, I really don't get too much into the political process just because I know that we really can't control too much. Once you really learn about the electoral...
The system's so fucked. I mean, we're the only democracy with an electoral college.
Exactly. So it's really like, hey, you got a little power. No, you don't, because we'll take it back. You know? And it seems like that's just the revolving door of America. It's like every time it's like something that they want to give us, it's always something 2 times that they can take it back.
It's always a trick to distract us from taking something else. Right. That's what I've realized the more I read.
Right. It's like a backdoor effect. So it's definitely crazy. But now back to your podcast, Guys We Fucked.
Yeah.
How did that title become the title? Guys We Fucked. Because when people hear that, it's like...
It elicits a reaction.
It does. And when I first seen it, I had to click on it. So what made you guys come up with that first? I know just let the people know.
Yeah, it's very, very simple. Which is funny because usually with comedy, we try and think really hard about what we think is funny. But this idea, Corinne got dumped by the former love of her life at a Panera Bread.
Panera Bread. That's like
at
the
Panera
perfect
Bread.
place to break
She
up with
paid
somebody.
for his You Pick Two combo, and then he dumped her.
She paid for the soup and sandwich combo.
But yeah,
break up with her.
it's fucked up. But then she was just the most heartbroken I've ever seen anybody. And breakups are the worst. Breakups are so hard to deal with. You feel like it's never going to get better. And after that, we had been working together for a while. She wasn't handling it well, which, you know, a lot of people react that way to a breakup, especially if you don't see it coming.
Right.
And she texted me and she just said, we should do a podcast where we interview all the guys we fucked and just call it Guys We Fucked. And I was like, yeah.
That would be...
Okay.
That's a great idea.
And then I added the anti-slut shaming part to it because Guys We Fucked is a powerful name. Right. And your mind goes so many places with it. So that's why I wanted to add the anti-slut shaming podcast. So to give a little bit more context into what the podcast would be about.
Exactly.
And we have a lot of people, specifically dudes, that'll email us going, oh, I saw your podcast on iTunes and I honestly started listening just because I wanted to jerk off, but then I ended up learning a lot.
I wanted to jerk off.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what?
Is that really
I'll
a
take
thing?
it. Oh, yeah. I didn't, yeah.
Like jerking off to someone's voice?
Yeah, I mean, audio porn, I guess. I don't know if that's what they thought it was.
That might be a new industry you might need to look into.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely.
They did not read the tagline, which I assume a lot of people would just ignore the tagline, which is fine.
Exactly.
But when we go to explain it,
Right.
we have that.
Right. Now, can you explain a little bit about Sorry About Last Night?
Yeah, that's a comedy duo Corinne and I formed right after I graduated college. She's a couple years older than me.
What college did you go to?
Marymount Manhattan College.
Marymount Manhattan.
Went to
Shout
Penn
out to all the
State.
people, good people at Marymount Manhattan, all the men and women of good faith. But go ahead.
I transferred colleges there, and my first ever internship was at a management company that she worked at, and that's where we met. And then we kind of kept in touch. And then after college, I got into stand-up comedy. She came out to one of my shows, and she had wanted to get into comedy too, stand-up. And she said, let's just work. Do you want to work together? And we could pursue separate careers as well as this thing together, because it's always easier, and it's more fun, and it's, you know, to work with a partner.
That's true. I think I need a partner because doing all this shit myself is crazy.
It's good for motivation too.
And it is
because you hold each other accountable.
You definitely hold each other accountable, and that's what's needed. You know, somebody to push you, that put that battery in your pack when you don't feel like getting up and going to do anything.
Yep. So and that's what she does. Because Corinne is one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life.
Really?
Yeah, and so. She always likes to fire under my ass when that fire needs to be relit. Because I'm hard working, but she's like a machine.
Right,
and it's great because I am inspired by that.
Right. So like, did she turn into this savage podcaster after the breakup, or was she always like that?
She hates podcasts. She doesn't listen to any podcasts. I love podcasts.
Really?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of them.
She's so good at it. It's like
I know.
Natural. Like you guys' chemistry on.
Well,
like
we had been working together for 5 years before we started the podcast. So, because a lot of people think, "Wow, that just worked out," but we had been working together for a long time. So it was culminating. Like our relationship and our dynamic together was solidifying more and more as the years went on. So it was just good timing for us that that idea popped up.
And what years did you guys start the podcast?
December of 2012. So, yeah, right before 2013, I think. Yeah.
And you guys been going at it ever since 2012 before anybody. I don't think anybody was really. What made you guys podcast at that time?
Well, because for the idea, a podcast is going to be the best medium for that because in order to make the guys comfortable and to have them like open up, if you have a camera on you, that's weird. And you can go anonymous on the podcast if it's just a microphone.
That's a fact.
So we can give them a fake name if they want because it doesn't matter. The identity, we're not trying to out anybody, but we just want to have the conversation.
And I think that's the beauty of it. And that's why I think a lot of people like y'all podcast because they can be honest in themselves and send you guys emails and send questions to you guys, and you guys can respond and give them that help that they need, honestly. And that's what a lot of people need because there's a lot of people out here going through things and they don't know who to talk to, or they feel like that's embarrassing. Like you get a lot of people on the podcast who's like they've been molested, or something happened to them, and they don't know who to talk to about that, or they might feel embarrassed.
It's crazy. One of the craziest things I've learned from doing it, and from because we never asked people to write us in for advice, they just kind of started doing it. So we would read their questions and answer them. That's why more and more came in. A lot of people were molested or raped and never told a single soul.
And that's like the narrative every single time. You'd be like, molested, I never told anybody. I was scared. I didn't want to tell anybody. I thought it was my fault. It's like, wow.
Or they weren't sure if it was rape or if they, especially with molestation stuff, when you're a kid, you don't know that what's happening is wrong, but you feel funny about it, but you don't have the verbiage to communicate it or how you feel. And then you grow up and you're like, fuck.
Right. I should have said something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we always know that it's not. I mean, I'm pretty sure they know it's not right, but it's like they don't know how to communicate it. Or like, it's like,
especially because it's usually somebody they trust or an adult that is in their lives already that does it.
And it makes them feel like, well, maybe nothing's gonna happen. I mean, that gotta be. I've never been molested. I've been molested as an adult, which I enjoyed a few times.
Well, then that's consensual molestation. That's
consensual molestation.
So sex.
Which I enjoyed a few times. But as a child,
have you ever been grabbed like by a woman on the dance floor or something?
I had my penis grabbed several times on the dance floor.
Wow, by a person you didn't know?
Yeah,
a girl you didn't know?
Oh yeah.
And you were like, whatever.
The Hennessy said whatever. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of crazy things.
Because if a guy did that to a girl,
reverse? No, it's over. It's well, depend on where you at.
Well, it's so annoying because we try to get. I mean, obviously, it's mostly men doing the thing, doing the like when someone gets sexually assaulted. A lot of the times, it's a man sexually assaulting a woman, and we try to like figure out why this happens so often. But it's like, man, dudes, I feel like they just get their dick grabbed on the dance floor and they don't even give a shit. And here you are.
I mean, I know, but has that ever happened to you? Like a guy touched you with like in a club or something and you just totally unwarranted?
Yeah, and it freaks me out and I don't like it at all. And I've seen it happen to Corinne. I remember 2 Halloweens ago, she was Ronald McDonald, female Ronald McDonald, and she had a bodysuit on. And I saw dudes grab her ass. Just out of nowhere, come up and grab her ass. I'm like, what the fuck?
She knew that red nose was going to be a target, though.
Yeah, it's definitely the red nose. Definitely the nose. But like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck is your... What? On the street. It wasn't... We weren't even... It didn't matter where we are, but...
Wow.
It wasn't even like crowded place. It
was just like an invitation to grab her ass because she
blew
was
my
dressed
mind.
up or what?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
That is insane. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I've definitely. But yeah, going back to the childhood and the molestation, that is a very crazy negative. Excuse me, I'm over talking. That is a narrative that is often seen. And I think, like I said, going back to why people mess with your podcast, I believe that that's a very important. You're like a therapeutic podcast over the radio, and it's like it's dope as hell.
Yeah, it's crazy that's what it kind of morphed into. It's cool.
Right. So are you guys like when you walked in, you said you were writing the scripts. Are you doing any writing for any shows or anything? Or?
We have a bunch of projects we can't really talk about yet, but we have a shitload of shit happening in the works. A lot of seeds planted.
I bet you do.
And it seems like all the deadlines are at the same time, which is.
How long are you guys touring for?
We're never gonna stop touring. We just kind of do chunks. So our next chunk is 9 days from January 14th to the 21st.
Right.
That's not 9. However many days that is.
Right.
And then when we go to London, we're just doing 2 days in London. But I'm going to go early because I really want to check out London.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
And definitely check out all the attractions that London has to offer. I know my people's since in London. Is Amsterdam over in London, or is that?
I don't know. I don't know where anything is. I gotta every once in a while look at a map and be like, oh, that country's near that. Oh shit. Okay.
Definitely.
Good to know.
So like, how did your parents take this name of this podcast, Guys?
Interesting question.
Like, when they first heard it, what was their reaction to that?
Well, I will say Corinne's mom is one of the biggest fans of the podcast.
Get out of here. She's very
She
open.
loves it. Yeah. She's open. She does not, she just really likes it because she sees what we're doing, and it's not sexual just to be sexual. We're trying to do comedy with a purpose, So she gets it and she sees it and she loves it. And then my boyfriend loves it.
Right.
Her mom, my boyfriend, biggest fans, which is cool. But my parents, I didn't tell for the first two years because we've been doing it for 3 years now. And my mom's more prude, and I knew when I first told her I had sex when I was 15, she didn't talk to me for a long time.
Was that when you lost your virginity when you were 15?
Yeah, 15. It might have been 16. I don't. But it was to my then boyfriend.
Was it in the back of a car?
No, thank God. It was in his room.
It was in his room.
The day I got my braces off. In the basement
y'all
of his
planned it
parents'
like
house.
That the day you got your braces?
No, it just worked out. I guess my teeth looked real good, real fuckable teeth, and I remember his dad came home in the middle of it, and we're like, oh fuck, shit, oh god.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but I really loved him, and he cheated on me the whole time. So
did you give him a blowjob the first time you had sex?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No,
because I just wanted to get it over with. Because so much unnecessary pressure gets placed on virginity, and the whole taking virginity. That's such bullshit. Like the way we phrase it, these little tiny things that kind of add up, and you look back and you're like, yeah, why the fuck?
What do you mean by that?
Like taking your virginity, you're not taking anything from me. I'm still the same person.
Right.
Now I've had a dick in me.
The words. Right.
That's the difference. That doesn't mean I'm a different person.
Absolutely. And it's not like, and you're consenting to it as well, too. So it's
so you're not taking anything. Yeah.
Right. The words we use are really weird.
Yeah. And I never thought about it until we started doing the podcast and having these conversations with people. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. We should stop saying that.
That is true, because you know what? I put a lot of emphasis in, growing up, the whole virginity thing was like really like an important thing. Like you have to lose your virginity to the right person. If you don't, you don't.
That's good that was stress.
Yeah.
The right person. I feel like that wasn't as stressed when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm glad I did it. Who I did it with was my boyfriend at the time.
Right, because I was listening to the one episode and the dude was like he lost it in a gangbang.
Yeah, I was like, hey, everyone's got their story. Because you don't have to virginity. If it's important to you, great. But if it's not, that's also fine.
Right. Do you feel like it's important to keep your virginity for a long time?
I think everyone's comfort levels are so different. So it's like, however you feel comfortable, move at that pace. Because with men and women, I think with women, the whole anti-slut shaming thing that we added has to do with women. The purer a woman is, the more valuable she is. There's so many ways that philosophy kind of pops up in my life personally, in Corinne's life, and a lot of women's lives that I know. And that's just, It's just that's such bullshit. Like, just because a woman is sexually active and enjoys sex means nothing else than she just enjoys sex.
Right. Because I mean, like, because I was talking to a female friend of mine lately, and she was just talking about how she lost her virginity at like 19, 20, and she wished she would have lost it earlier. Maybe she would have had more different experiences, or things like that. What would you say to like women like that who deal with that? Maybe I should lose it, or am I missing out on not losing it? Those women who still are virgins at a later age. What would you say to women like that?
I think you need to figure out what's important to you. Is it important to, with the first time you have sex, is it important to have it with someone you're in love with? Is it important to have it with someone that is just a good friend? Do you want to have it with someone you don't really know, so there's no attachments, or you know what I mean? So it's like you need to figure out what's valuable to you, right. and then see to it that those circumstances surround you having sex for the first time. Right.
Because what if a little girl don't want to be in love and have sex with the person? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, then that's what she does.
13 years old, she bought a little Kim Hardcore CD, and she wanted, know what I mean, just let it loose. I mean, it's not the same for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that it's also important to make sure you're being proactively healthy about your sex life, condoms, all that stuff, because a lot of people's parents. You don't believe in condoms?
No.
Well, they exist, so that's weird.
I pray every night, and I use Jergens lotion and shea butter. So
okay, that's what you do.
Purifies my body.
Okay.
But no, I definitely believe in all of that. You gotta stay safe out here. Make sure y'all using your dental dams and all of those things. Why don't they have any contraceptives for like anal pleasure or anal activity?
You could use a condom for anal so that you don't transmit STDs.
Really? Like,
yeah.
Do people?
Yeah.
I never like.
Gay guys use in gay porn. They use condoms all the time because that's how HIV gets
get the fuck out of
transmitted.
I've never seen that. Like,
you never seen gay porn?
I've never seen.
Missing
gay
out.
Porn. I'm missing out on gay porn. Yeah. I might have to indulge in that.
Two dudes banging. That's like the manliest thing I could think of. Just two dicks, just like swords, just like bam, bam. That's so manly.
I can see, I can do the women thing, but the two guys, maybe I might. I don't know. Maybe I thought just.
But are you straight?
I'm beyond straight.
So then that makes sense that you don't like seeing two dudes fuck.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you never know. I mean, the world is a big place, and you never know what might happen.
Yeah, you might change your mind one day, and that's fine.
And that's fine too.
Yeah.
What about you yourself? Have you ever had a lesbian experience?
Oh God, yeah.
Really?
There was one time. Was it in college? It was what a stereotype. In college, I was like curious, and I created an OkCupid profile to meet a girl because I watched lesbian porn, so I was like, it wasn't a maybe I'm gay, but like maybe I should explore this.
Right. I think every girl has that little exploring thing inside of her.
Well, because women are also more open to that. Like men, just because you're not gay doesn't mean that another dick in the room is like, oh, I'm not homo. Like it doesn't. Men are so much more weirded out by that, which is so unfortunate because I think that, I don't know, you're depriving yourself of some enjoyment. But
anal pleasure.
Not even like that you need to bang a dude. It has nothing to do with that. But just like, I don't know, guys seem to be so closed off to that idea because they want to protect their masculinity of like, I'm not gay. But
them the dudes that I think really are gay.
Heterosexuality and masculinity that doesn't mean anything. Like that doesn't mean anything.
Absolutely. And men in prison know that. So
absolutely.
That, you know what though? But I think a lot of those dudes who be like, "Oh, get the fuck away from me with that gay shit."
Yeah.
You can't be
what are you afraid of?
Gay person. What are you so fucking? I think they really trying to hide the fact that maybe they might be something in there. You know what I'm saying?
It's usually a lot of times the most homophobic dude in the room is the gayest.
Is the gayest. That's
just
a
like
fact.
the politician that's tries to make all the policies to illegalize prostitution has the most hoes in his apartment.
That's a fact. What was dude's name with the big nose in New York City?
Wiener.
Shout out to my man Wiener.
I watched the documentary and I was on his side, and then it came out that he was sending all these sex with his fucking kid in the bed. I'm like, all right, never mind, Weens. I was really behind you because you were like working hard and you were just promiscuous, and that doesn't mean you're a bad politician.
Right, absolutely.
But that's pretty fucked up.
I hate that we hold people like public figures to this social standard where they're not sexual figures. Like they can't have sex. Like why? Why do we do that?
Yeah.
Like it was
I agree.
It's a famous orator or lecturer named Dr. Umar Johnson. Mm-hmm. And he goes around, he speaks to people about empowering the African American community, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Know? And he had sex with a stripper, and they went fucking crazy. How could Dr. Umar have sex with a stripper? The stripper conspiracy. Like, what the fuck? He can't get his dick sucked?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? He has. What does that have to do with the man and the policy and what
Absolutely
he believes
nothing.
in? Like, I don't even understand.
Even was he in a married or?
No.
I was gonna say even if he was married, I wouldn't hold it against him because he's fucking single and people gave him shit for fucking a stripper.
Like, why do we hold these people who are supposed to be morally
responsible? Why? Because maybe the people who got mad at him, either if it's men, maybe they not jealous in like a deep-rooted way, not like a openly, I've always wanted to fuck a stripper and strippers never want to fuck me. It could be that, or it could be, I don't know. It's always, whenever people get mad at another person in a way that I think seems illogical, it's usually projecting.
Right.
Because if especially if he's single, he knows what he wants sexually and he bangs chicks. Like,
that's
what
I was saying. I'm like, why are they trying to hang this man because he had
sucks.
sex with a stripper? It was consensual.
Yeah.
As well. Like, I didn't understand.
That's unfortunate. Definitely. That's slut shaming him.
Yeah. It definitely is. That is slut shaming.
And did he come back with a response like, I have a penis and I like to have sex with that penis?
I'm glad he didn't come back with a response, which I thought he shouldn't. And that was good.
I mean, there's nothing to defend. Right, he's a sexual person.
Like, and business is still looking good for him. So
that's good because that's so lame.
That definitely is crazy. That's beyond crazy. But another question I wanted to ask you, since you've had the podcast and you guys are so open with your sexuality and experiences and past and things like that, do you get more creeps?
We don't.
Really?
Creepy girls, if anything.
Creepy
and
girls?
I'm never, whatever, creepy girls.
How can you have a
That's
creepy
like an oxymoron.
Right.
Well, we've had girls break into our dressing room on tour shows, like drunk, like being like, can I hug you? And I talked about it on the podcast, like I've never felt physically threatened by a woman before. It was kind of nice. But that was a little scary. And then, but we do have, because my boyfriend and I talk about having three-ways openly, and we do get people like approaching us, women.
Yeah, of course.
But that's not a creep to me, because they're being respectful about it. And if I don't want to, I say no. But thank you for
your
asking. I consider it. It's considerate.
You have to ask for a threesome respectfully.
Yeah.
Like I feel like.
Yeah, you do, and it's a fine line. Like, because now I kind of feel the way. I kind of feel for guys when they approach girls in a very minimal way, because when we want to approach a girl about a three-way, we had an app that we were using. And then one day my boyfriend and I were like,
wait, time out. You had an app that you
A three-way app, yeah.
What do you mean?
It was called Thrinder. Thrinder, like Thrinder for three-ways. Tinder for three-ways.
I love it.
And now it's called Field because it got sued because the name was really close. Which sucks because it was a good name. F-E-E-L-D.
Hold on, who came up with this? You?
Oh, I didn't come up with it. I just
was
found
about to say.
No.
You need to go copyright that.
No. But I was always so that's how we were usually doing it, which was great because everyone there was already forward thinking and already like of the mindset of, well, this is something I'm open to.
Right.
And you talk through the app and then you meet. So we're all here for the sexual reasons. So I don't feel creepy.
I have to write that down. Field.
Yeah. F-E-E-L-D. It's free. And then we try like, let's hit on a girl in the wild. Like, I wonder how, and I just couldn't. I didn't want to creep her out.
Really?
Like every time we're like, oh, she's kind of cute. I didn't want to approach her because if I was at a bar alone and a couple just came up to me and they were like, do you want to have sex with me and my boyfriend? I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face. Even though I get that wanting to ask that, but I just don't know how to go about it in a way that makes the girl feel comfortable.
Way. That's what I was saying.
So I'm like, man, that's gotta suck for guys. I do feel for them a little bit. Little bit though.
I think it has to be like only in one or two settings. Like you either have to be at a club, like dancing, the mood is right.
Yeah,
drunk.
everyone already has to be in like a sexual kind of vibe.
Like,
because then that question isn't as crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the lights are flashing, my hair is sweated out. You smell like malt liquor and beers. It's like, do you want to go back home with us? And I think that's the one. And then it's like, or it has to be like a friend or acquaintance. I don't think you can just, because a stranger, how do you go about asking?
Actually, I like it better with a stranger. I've never done it with a friend or acquaintance because I'm nervous that it would get weird. Right. I'm the same way. So friend or stranger, like you can choose to never see him again and it's fine.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the same way. How many threesome experience have you had? Do you mind?
I had one. No, clearly not at all. First one was with 2 guys years ago, 2 male models.
Mm-hmm.
That was very exciting. I was part of a reality TV show called Hot and Handy, where male models come over and redecorate your apartment. They did a horrible fucking job, but they really
came over and redecorated your apartment?
Oh, I still have red walls to this day. This was like 8 years ago. And but they were like legit male models. I was expecting like, male model, okay. And then they walked in and I was like, holy shit, oh my God. That was really fun. And then
hold on, one quick second. How did it go from painting your walls to painting your ass?
Well, we had like a party. We like had people over after the show stopped filming with the models, and then liquor and stuff. And we were talking with the guys. And then one of them, this guy, had texted me, and then we kind of hooked up for a little bit. And then one day we were at his apartment. We had been at Pyramid Club with another one of the models that was at my house. Right. And then we went to his apartment, the guy that I was hooking up with the other guy. And then I was like, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. And then they just came in, and it just happened. That was awesome because Steven and I talk it out a lot, and it's good because that's what we need to feel comfortable. But that was a situation where it just happened, and it was A+.
A+. Wow,
A+.
Good job for you.
Thank
Shout out to the male models out here putting in work. You know what I mean? We see you. And then what was the other one you said?
With Steven, my boyfriend now, that would, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I've had 3 ways.
That is dope.
Throughout a stretched period of time.
And it was with a stranger, you said?
Yeah, 2 were with an app, or through an app.
Right.
We had been talking. We went on like a date first. And we were like, no sex will be had on this date. This is just to get to know each other. That's what I wanted, because I was like, I don't want any pressure. Because the second I feel pressure, and I don't. Even if I want to do it, I'm not gonna.
Yo, that's an important fact for those guys out there who never had a threesome, and your lady is interested.
Even if she wants to, and you pressure, it's gonna turn her off.
Push at all. I mean, not even slightly. Let her. You already know.
Yeah.
Let her do everything, but.
Yeah.
You said 3 times, and the first date was just a
first 2 were through the app. We did it like a date first, and then the next time we met up, we went out for drinks and then came back to our place. And then the third one was with a listener who approached us after a show in Vancouver.
Really?
And she was so cool. But she approached us. I saw her flirting with Steven, and I was like, "Oh, she was so hot." And I was like, "What's going on over there?" Because I have a cuckolding thing. Queening is called when it's a woman, but I don't tell me it's a queen because I'm a woman. Like, don't fucking talk down. I think it's condescending, but sometimes. But yeah, she was super hot, and I like when my boyfriend is attracted to other women.
Really? Mm-hmm. I was just about to ask you about that. Yeah. Like, how do you deal with that?
I mean, not all the time, but like it's every once in a while. It's fun to indulge in that. Mm-hmm. And so I saw them, and then she was talking to all of us, and we were talking, and then we went back to our hotel room, Steven and I, and then the next day she had emailed Steven. I was like, I think you guys are a great couple. You're both very attractive, and I feel like it'd be fun to go out. And we were like, yeah.
That's hella dope, man. See, I don't get too many of these experiences like that. My experiences are more or less in bars in the inner city, and over Facebook inbox messages. They're not as exciting.
I have an unfair advantage, I will say.
You do, and that's great. How do you deal with like women, not like women, say if you like doing your thing and Steven doing his thing with a woman, do you get jealous like in the bedroom?
How so? Like, are we in a 3-way or where we're out?
Right, like in the middle of a threesome, like some guys feel like it's hard to maintain a threesome. Like, it
is. Yeah, it is. Because there's going to be a second where someone's like twiddling their thumbs.
Right.
But that's okay. I mean, that I figured that would happen.
So you said you feel like it was like down. You know what? I've never experienced that in a threesome.
Down, like someone twiddling their thumbs?
Yeah.
The first one I had with Steven, I like got up and went to the bathroom, and my friend called and I answered
that's a fact. Definitely get up to go to the bathroom.
Well, I already came, and I was like, this is how we'll talk about coming, right?
Yeah.
When I like have a big orgasm, I'm like immediately out of the mood now. I'm like, all right, and I'm done. That's a wrap, guys. All right, stop fucking. Okay. But you can't do that. It's rude. Especially because I'm the one who wanted it to happen in the first place.
That's a fact.
So I went to the bathroom. My friend called and just picked it up. And I was like, it would be rude of me to ask them to stop.
Wait, so you picked up the phone?
Just because I'm done. Yeah. And my friend yelled at me. She's like, "Get back in there."
Pick up the phone, baby.
Good point.
Hold on.
Want to achieve your health and fitness goals? Make sure you visit KrystanaHutchinsonxFredoP. It's 2017, and I know you're trying to lose all that weight and stress that your baby father helped put on you. Make sure when you visit KrystanaHutchinsonxFredoP, you enter Intellectually Ignorant and receive a 10% discount on your next purchase. Intellectually Ignorant, KrystanaHutchinsonxFredoP.
Thank you guys for logging back in. We just took a quick break from our sponsors. So we are talking about Krystina's threesome experience, and you answered the phone?
Yeah, I was in the bathroom. It wasn't in front of them.
Oh, okay. Now
I was like, they didn't even realize I left, so I'm just going to answer this fucking phone call.
No, that's a fact, because I went to the bathroom like 3 times. Well, I came like 3 times when we was having a threesome. But it was like immediately once I came back in, it wasn't like a dull moment. I just like hopped back in.
Right.
And it's like, but I guess I can see how
it was with 2 girls?
2 girls.
Yeah, that's a different... I think if the guy leaves and then comes back, it's like to pee or something. Obviously, you gotta pee.
Right.
But if the guy leaves, it's less weird. Cause like, yeah. But I didn't even say anything. I just like kind of.
Yeah, that's how I did. You don't say anything. Like I just dipped out. Excuse me for.
Yeah, you guys enjoy yourselves. I'll be right back.
Right. Do you feel like well, how long was it for the threesome? How long are your threesomes usually?
30 minutes?
30 minutes? Are you serious?
Is that long or short? Maybe 20?
I don't know, because my threesome
you seem shocked.
3.5 hours.
Oh. Well, the last one we had, I had to get on a plane at like 6 a.m. We had to get on a plane, Steven and I. So we couldn't, that was our last night there, so we had to wrap it up.
Right.
And the second one we had was more. That was actually longer, because then we had sex, and then we went on the living room and smoked a cigarette out the window.
Right.
Had some fruit.
Right.
Then banged again.
See, maybe that's what it was, because we smoked, we drink.
Yeah.
And then, we got to it, and then, back and forth, you got to clean up. And
yeah.
So that's it, I guess.
But I'm very much like, once I come, I'm like, all right, let's go clean the fridge out or something. Like, I don't care.
What is your favorite after sex activity?
Eating. Oh, yeah. Love eating.
I like smoking weed.
Oh, I usually smoke weed before. I love high sex is the best. And
well, I don't know the difference.
Maybe that's why I'm so hungry afterwards.
Right.
Because I'm so high. I'm like, give me food.
Right. I don't know the difference between not high sex. I've been high since I was 21.
Like, just consistently since you were 21?
And I thought that was like a sad thing the other day. Like, is that bad?
No, people handle weed differently, though. Like, I see people that are high all the time, but they're functioning like if marijuana improved my day-to-day functioning, I'd fucking be high all the time, too.
Right. But I don't know the difference. I mean, that's what I can't...
Between you high and you not high?
I've been high for damn near 10 years, so I don't know.
If it's not a problem, then...
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a progressive piehead. Like, I get a lot of things.
A lot of people are. I'm kind of jealous because I just like zone out. It doesn't even matter what strain.
And I think I'm like asking myself, is that a problem that I can function this
No,
high?
I know a lot of people that can function very high, and I applaud them.
Because I couldn't function drunk. I know people say I can go to the work drunk.
No, I couldn't do that either.
How the fuck can you do anything drunk?
Yeah.
I can't.
Some functioning alcoholics do. And I'm amazed.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
But like alcohol is going to mess up your liver and stuff. Weed, I mean, smoking weed, obviously you're inhaling something in your lungs, but whatever.
Do you feel like big penises can damage your insides?
I don't know. Yeah, because I went to the ER from a big dildo.
Get the fuck.
Because it bursts. It causes the cyst on my ovary to burst.
People the story. What are you talking about?
All right. Well, there's a lot of backstory to this, but basically, my boyfriend dated a famous porn star right before me.
Your boyfriend? Wow, he's amazing.
Yeah.
You got some amazing experience. I want
Oh,
to
this is one of the reasons why I'm like, I'm glad we started to do a podcast, because these people think I'm making up these stories and I am not.
Like, I need to live. Like, I've been sheltered. Like, go ahead.
I don't, depends. Yeah, he dated a famous porn star right before me. She dumped him after 2.5 years of dating, which was a long time of dating.
A long time. I was about to say
she dumped him, which I'm like, okay. So maybe he wanted the relationship to continue. Obviously, he did.
Obviously.
And then 10 days later, we started dating. So I was like, oh, I'm the rebound girl. We didn't officially, I say it's our anniversary, but we weren't official until like a month after. Right. But I was like, oh, I guess I'm just a rebound person. But then I fell in love with him, and I was like, whatever. I guess, who cares? And but anyway, I talk about this word, femasculated, because that's how she made me feel.
She made you feel emasculated?
Yeah, like if a man makes you feel emasculated, he's making you feel like your manhood is less than. Right. But that there's no word for women like that. So I was just like, well, now it's emasculated. And as a result, I would say I was cool with things that maybe I wasn't. Like he gave me that dildo for Christmas, our first Christmas, and I opened it, and in my head I was like, that's so big, that's not gonna fit. But outwardly I was like, oh, that's the biggest one you can find? Okay, fine, yeah, let's use it, I don't care. And then we used it. Why would he
give you a dildo for?
Because I gave off this vibe that like, give me the biggest dildo. Yeah. And I didn't mean it. And then when we used it, and then I woke up like at 3 a.m. that night, and I was like, I need to go to the ER. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. But it feels like there was an elephant stepping on my uterus, and a cyst had burst on my ovary. I didn't even know I had ovarian cysts.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so.
What the fuck? So the ovarian cyst is like, wow, you stuck it that far up there?
I guess so.
That's amazing. Shout out to the dildo makers. They out here making huge, big-ass penis. Why does the penis need to be that damn big?
It doesn't. The lesson is it doesn't.
Big ass penises.
I never had a one night stand, but the one that I almost had, the guy's dick was too big, and I was like, that's not gonna fit. I gotta go.
I've heard
it was before. So big, I was horrified, and that sucks because, there are a lot of women like that, and that's great. But for my body, the way my body is, because every woman's body is so fucking different, that's not gonna work.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Since he whipped it. Yo, my homie, he be talking about that. He be talking about how like he be whipping it out on chicks and they be running, or they don't be
because it's so big.
Yeah, and I don't.
I mean, that's the thing.
I be hearing
that's
the
thing.
Be really saying that.
Yeah, and that sucks for that dude. We've had guys email us saying like their dick is too big and they can't have sex with the women they want to have sex with because their dick's too big, and it hurts, and that sucks.
God
that
damn.
Sucks.
Shout out to the men out here who in between the 8, 9, and 10 inch range doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Big into vintage style and fashion. Make sure you visit Yarmo's Muse at 700 Main Street. Yarmo's Muse specializes in vintage fashion, style, and clothing. Yarmo's Muse, located at the upper floor from Choppers Fellas Unisex, 700 Main Street, Buffalo, New York.
Doylestown.
That's where I was born, and then I lived 2 years there, 10 years in Virginia, because my dad was stationed at Norfolk base because he was a Navy chief.
Really? Wow.
Moved back. Parents split up. They separated for 3 years, so I went back to Pennsylvania, and then my dad moved back up there, and they're together now.
Wow, that's dope. So they split and got back together?
Yeah, they split up for 3 years. That was a long time ago.
Right.
When I was in middle school.
Shout out to the true love out here.
Yeah.
The parents out here keeping it word. We don't see that no more though. People.
No, I know.
We don't see that, and it's crazy. And I don't know what's gonna happen because like the whole family structure is being like torn apart. Like real grandmothers and
How so?
Like okay, we all grew up. Well, I know predominantly. I mean, I don't know. You grew up with your grandmother?
Yeah, they were alive, but they were in other states. Like they were always far away.
Right. So I'm saying as far as like the grandmothers, like who will be the grandmothers in like 30 years from now, 20 years from now?
Oh, because kids are having kids, or people are having kids so later now, so much later.
And it's like you got a lot of people.
That's true.
It's like once your grandmother, like I know for my family, once my grandmother passed on one side, it was like people stopped coming around.
Oh,
you don't see each other, they don't visit as much.
She held the family,
right? Because
my grandparents lived with us the last 10 years of their life because my grandma had a stroke. See? And yeah, but my family's small. I have one brother, no aunt. I have 2 uncles, 1 brother, and parents.
Right.
That's all. I have no cousins. I have no aunts.
Really?
Both my uncles never married, never had kids. And well, now my brother has a kid, so I have a nephew who I'm obsessed with. But that's it. All my grandparents are dead. Really? So I got 2 parents, a brother, and then a nephew, and that's it.
That's it. Mm-hmm. See, I got a big family, so. You know,
I wish I've always, so many of my friends have like cousins and aunts and uncles.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's crazy.
That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. But I got a lot of, and then it's like I'm thinking about the grandmother structure, and I'm looking at it now. Like my grandmother on my other side of the family, she's starting to get sick, and it's like people don't go over that house no more, so you don't see certain cousins because they come over to eat at the grandmother's house and give her food, or they bring her something. Or it's like a meeting place for the family, a community center for the family, and so I'm thinking like, well. In 20 years, you're gonna have these twerking chicks or these chicks like they gonna be the grandmothers, and it's gonna be like, what is the family structure gonna be like in 20 years? It's like, or 30 years. It's like, it's just amazing to see what it's gonna be. Yeah, and it's just like, it's amazing.
I think family's so important, and like family dinners, like that shit's important, where everyone talks about shit, you argue, you toss ideas around like that.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I had a family dinner.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and
for the holidays,
I come from it.
I mean, I only do it on the holidays now.
Not even in the I can't remember the last time we had a holiday. No.
Thanksgiving?
No. Everybody had their own Thanksgiving.
Oh, why? Do they all hate each other?
I don't know. Is it a black thing, maybe?
No, but you know what, though? For Thanksgiving, though, my parents, like, they didn't want to do Thanksgiving. So, like, I don't know, whatever Steven's parents are doing, do it. I'm like,
right, but see, that's different.
All right.
That's different, though. Well, I'm not doing Thanksgiving. We'll go over to Auntie's house or blah, blah, blah house to see what they're doing. It's like everybody literally had Thanksgiving dinner at their house.
Damn. Well, I mean, I know a lot of families who do that.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, come together.
Come together. Everybody build. You know what I'm saying?
I think because my family's so small, that's why we kind of make a point. Every Christmas, my two uncles, one from California, one from Texas, they fly in. Got to. Because that's the only time we see each other. So I'm like, right. But then we have a Christmas Eve tournament. We like make it a huge game. We compete for presents. We're like, we're gonna have fun.
That's what you're supposed to be doing, and we definitely don't do that. We gotta get it together. I don't really know what's going on out here.
Have your family over.
They gonna kill each other. Are you crazy?
That's a problem. Then maybe that's why they should have separate Thanksgivings.
Them people is crazy. They gonna kill each other.
Why? Does everyone have differing opinions on shit, or
people? They have unresolved issues that people don't want to talk about.
Everything, yeah.
And it's like
my brother and my mom aren't talking right now,
really?
And they have, because an unresolved issue went unresolved for a very long time, and my mom finally was like, you know what? No.
I just got done not talking to my mother a few weeks ago. My mother attacked me a few weeks ago. You see the scar on my face? My mother did that.
She physically attacked you?
What?
What'd you do?
She said I did some shit. I said some shit I shouldn't have said.
What'd you say? If you don't want to repeat it, that's because that's a personal.
What did I say?
I don't want to repeat things that I've said, horrible things I've said.
No, I didn't disrespect her. No, I did.
So bad
I definitely. My mother would two-piece me in a second. But it wasn't nothing too disrespectful. I really don't remember what I said. I just know she turned around.
She's probably like, I like your shoes, Mom.
and went crazy on me. But she definitely did. So I know how it is about, people not speaking to each other. But we got over it real quick because
that's good.
That's life. You're not supposed to be mad at somebody like that, especially in your family.
Yeah, what good does it do?
It doesn't do too much for you. So we got over it, so I know how it is with the family thing. People got to get their family life together. We got to bring back the essence because we can't have Black China being grandma in 20 years or you know what I'm saying? These women like that going to be the grandmothers in 20 years.
Is that a bad thing?
It's going to be crazy. Yes, it's a bad thing.
Why is it a bad thing?
Because it sets the precedent for the rest of the family. If grandma is a retired, I'll take that word back. I hate that word. If grandma is not correct, how can the family be correct? She's the model. See, yeah, that wasn't the case for my family. My dad was my mom was bipolar, so she was kind of every which way. Right. Not all the time, but sometimes. Yeah. And so my dad held it down, and he was just a stone-faced. If you want to yell at your mom, just come in and yell at me. Say all the things you need to say about your mom. Just yell it in my face, and I would, and that helped. Right. But he was the one who, he does he kind of brings everyone together for Christmas, and so he was always right. But I think that's the military in him. He was very much like, all right, guys, we're gonna very ordered and structured.
Kinda, yeah. He's gotten more loose as he gets older, but
yeah. Word. Shout out to Pops, man, keeping the family together. We see you, Pops, out here in New York City with Krystina Hutchinson. Out here with Guys We Fucked podcast. Krystina, let everybody know where they can find you at, websites, upcoming shows. Let the people know who don't know.
Yeah, so the podcast, if you're interested, it's on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher. Just look up Guys We Fucked in quotes. You won't actually, surprisingly, you won't see a lot of porn. You'll just see our podcast. You follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Krystina Hutch, but it's KrystYna Hutch. Right. And then sorryaboutlastnight.com/tours with an S is all of our tour dates.
That's a fact.
We'll be in a lot of cities soon.
Any other podcasts in the city that you guys are working with or anything like that?
Not working with. I mean, we go on people's podcasts, but like I love podcasts. I love Dan Savage's podcast. I love What the Fuck with Mark Maron.
I just heard of that one.
This American Life I really like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Gotta check. I know I heard of What the Fuck. That's the one I heard about. I haven't heard about the other ones. I gotta look into it.
Risk is a good one. Kevin Allison hosts it.
I just heard that one.
I've been when I had a day job, I would cry at my desk. It's just storytelling. And it's beautiful.
Right. It's a storytelling sexual podcast, right?
Not necessarily sexual. No, honestly, a lot of them aren't sexual.
It was just a storytelling podcast, right?
Kevin's just very sexual, the host.
Right. Is he gay?
Yep.
Right. Because I just was listening to the podcast and he was talking about
this. Crazy stuff. We interviewed him, and I was like, "Damn,
crazy stuff.
I don't hold a candle to you. You're living your life
for real." He was talking about all the poppers. He was saying, "I never heard of that."
I heard of them, but I didn't really know what they're for. But damn,
like yo, shout out to all the people out there with the poppers. I didn't know nothing about that.
Be careful.
Be careful with them poppers. I want to try one while I'm here in the city. I don't even
know where you get them. I guess you can get them at
He
stores.
said you can get them at sex shops.
That's right. You can get them at stores.
Yeah. So definitely shout out to them.
Listen up, men and women of good faith. Intellectually Ignorant is now available on Google, Stitcher Play, Acast, and YouTube. Make sure you log in and subscribe. Once again, that's Google Play, Acast, Stitcher, and YouTube. Intellectually Ignorant.
Where it was not working or it wasn't.
No, it was just a slow and steady rise. Right. We got a big press piece from the Daily Beast right away. Because Corinne knew a journalist there, and he was intrigued by the idea. And then iTunes originally rejected us, and they didn't tell us why. And they don't do that to a lot of podcasts.
Right.
And we're like, okay, it's because fuck's in the title. But and so we're like, oh, maybe we could bleep it out. But then there were other podcasts with fuck in the title that they didn't bleep out.
Really?
And we're like, what the fuck? So the angle for that Daily Beast article was the podcast. The headline was the podcast that's too hot for iTunes. That was like the angle that they went on.
Right.
But then we've had a lot of press after that. We don't have a publicist or anything. It kind of came naturally, but with every press piece, this like new wave of listeners, because they would see if the name's in front of you, you at least are curious. That doesn't mean you think positively of it. But I think when people go, they're like, what the fuck is this shit? And then they go listen to it and they're pleasantly surprised. That's such a strong reaction that's a memorable reaction. Because when you go in expecting one thing and it surprises you, that's my favorite thing. And I think we do that to a lot of people. So there's a sticking power, and then everyone tells their friends, which is. Do you get any negativity from the title? Some. Oh, for the title, no.
Or from
we've seen on Facebook, like some of our friends will tag us and like, oh, my friend hosts a podcast about guys who fuck, and then like a friend of theirs will be like, that doesn't sound intellectual at all. They're like, oh, I love this podcast. It's really opened my mind, and then someone will comment like, that's disgusting or something, and I'll comment back. I'm like, thanks, it's working really well. So.
What about the in person or like?
No one ever wants to say negative shit to your face.
Never.
Always behind a keyboard. Oh, it's not. It makes sense.
That's definitely, and so it's just been a slow and steady grind. Yeah. That's dope. That's what I wanted to ask because I know it's a grind. So I just wanted.
Yeah, and it's also one thing that I found interesting is talking is an art form, which I didn't realize. I know stand-up's an art form because you have joke structure or whatever your structure is, acting and stuff. But talking, having a conversation on a microphone, there's actually like skill to it that you learn over time.
You have to keep and maintain I think people don't know how to maintain a conversation, period.
I agree. And I think doing the podcast has certainly helped me with my stand-up. Like I can talk to the crowd. I used to never do crowd work because I was too nervous. I didn't want to make anybody feel bad or make fun of anybody. And I was like, oh, fuck this shit. And I just dive right in.
I want to do stand-up.
It's so fun.
Really?
It's a lot of work, but it's you really earn. I mean, there's some people like Hannibal Buress, for example. He was funny the second he started doing stand-up. Like I've known him for when I met him like 7 years ago, and I saw him do. I was like, "You're the funniest. How long have you been doing this? A fucking year? Do you know how long it takes people to get this good?" But some people are just naturally great at it.
He is, and he's so calm, and he controls the crowd.
That's it. He doesn't get he doesn't get nervous in his life, I don't think.
Yeah.
And so
definitely.
So, but when the audience trusts him immediately,
and
his comical sense is just. He's just talking about sprinkling pickle juice on a fucking sandwich, and it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. Because he just delivers it with his I don't give a fuck.
He does.
And it's such a simple thing.
It's his tone, too, of his voice. Yep. It's everything. He just nailed it. Him and Louis C.K.
Yeah.
I love Louis C.K.
Louis had an arc, though, that I saw. Like, I don't think Louis started off as brilliant as he is now.
He didn't.
And that's cool that's interesting to watch him.
Have you checked out his older work?
Yeah.
And it's not.
That's how I know.
It's
It's
not
okay.
Interesting. It is.
It's okay.
But he definitely, you could tell.
He hit a nerve though. A couple years, early 2000s or whenever the fuck he started getting huge. He hit a nerve that he was like, oh, I'm gonna push this more.
Definitely. But thank you for coming out and talking to us on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
We traveled all the way. For those who don't know, we traveled 6 hours to come see Miss Krystina Hutchinson.
I hope it was worth it, you guys.
It was definitely worth it. We'll
Good.
do it again because we definitely fuck with the podcast. Guys, we fucked. Y'all make sure y'all log on and make sure y'all subscribe. Once again, this is Intellectually Ignorant. We out.
Bucka. You know the deal. This is me, dog. Beats by Supremo for all of my people, Negroes and Latinos, and even the gringos.